are listening to Voice of the Fans Sportscast, brought to you by none other than the voices of the fans.
Oh, Canada.
Thursday, the 17th of July. I'm Randy Coure. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. Hope all is well, and thank you as always for tuning in. We are live on YouTube at VOF Canada. Be sure to give us a like, subscribe on as well as IG, Twitter, and Threads. On today's episode, Major League Baseball had their midsummer celebration, and believe it or not, it seems Major League Baseball seems to be celebrating. The game went into extra innings, and critics appear to have given the All-Star Game 2 thumbs up. We will chat about how the rest of the baseball season will finish up. Tonight's panel are supporters of teams from the American League East, and we will have our thoughts to both the New York Yankees and, of course, the Toronto Blue Jays. Could the NCAA see an opportunity in expanding its hockey program? This after Canadian prospect Gavin McKenna has decided to jump ship from the Medicine Hat Tigers to the hallowed halls of Penn State University. With that in mind, could the CHL see a massive problem on their hands in the future? That, and of course, a lot more. The Roundtable has ascended. Tony Antoniou is here as always. Tony, how are you?
I'm great, Randy. How are you, buddy?
Doing awesome. Thank you. And like he has done from time to time, a dear friend of the show, he is the host of Foursquare Sports, which you can find on 102.3 KIXP, the Island Experience in the beautiful state of Washington. He is Matt Siriani. Matt, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. I remember spreading the news about KIXP. Now, the crazy thing about KIXP is you get one guy who's from Washington. Okay, that's fine. You got me from Jersey. You got Kevin Zeliskovich from Texas, and you got Alec Nava from North Carolina. So we're all over the place. We're spread across the U.S., but we always know how to make things work.
You always know how to make things work. We know how to make things work. Tony and I, of course, are from Toronto, and you're in Jersey. And hey, this is how Canada and the U.S. are supposed to communicate with each other, not like what's going on politically these days. But, you know, we always make it work. Congratulations on this new venture that you have with KIXP, the passion that you have, Maddie. It goes without saying. And really wish you and the guys the best of luck. And, as a Jersey guy, Maddie, I thought it was really fitting to talk about tonight's icebreaker. Although I do want to get into something else in a couple of moments. But basically, I did want to talk about the hot dog eating contest. Of course, the 4th of July is Independence Day for the United States. And Maddie, off the top of your head, do you know how many years the Nathan's hot dog eating contest has gone for? I'm thinking 45, did I hear?
Somewhere around 50, maybe even 60 years in the U.S. where it's been televised or gotten the coverage it's gotten. And about 1/3.
But go ahead. I'm so sorry, but sorry. A third of the time, you were saying.
A third of the time, you'll find Joey Chestnut standing tall.
Absolutely, and I remember years before it was Kobayashi. But how far is Coney Island from where you live?
That's a good question. I would say, well, New York is going to be 2 hours away from me regardless. I would say Coney Island, since it's a farther part away from New York City, it's probably, I would say 4 hours, I think, 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. So you've never, I mean, maybe you have been to Coney Island, but I'm guessing you've never been to the hot dog eating contest?
It's on my bucket list.
It is on your bucket list. Okay. So you've never been, and it seems that you do have a rooting interest.
I do. Honestly, last year kind of stunk because you didn't have Joey Chestnut featured in it, and then he came out of retirement to regain his crown with 70.5 hot dogs eaten. I don't like the way he does it, but you gotta appreciate his commitment to his craft.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that is dedication for sure. I mean, Tony, obviously, when the 5th of July rolls around, you and I may be watching Sports Center, or they always talk about the hot dog eating contest in our neck of the woods. And yeah, it did get me thinking. I mean, Canada has a couple of traditions as well. Do you think that there is something that maybe not to the degree of the hot dog eating contest, but something that screams, "Oh, Canada," that maybe we could have on the 1st of July, say Canada Day?
Well, sure. My parents' house on Greek Orthodox Easter can be compared to a Greek eating competition. But
I can only imagine. Okay, so tell us what kind of spread does Mom and Pa Antoniou have?
It generally revolves around lamb, and a lot of it. And the thing with it, we fast for like 40 days going into it. So by the time we get there, the meat that you haven't been eating for over 40 days and stuff, it becomes very easy to eat and digest.
Sounds beautiful.
But honestly, I can't think of one. I know that during Stampede, they have the Pancake Tuesdays, which is a big deal, but I don't know if there's an eating contest attached to it. But you ever see every year you have the Prime Minister come trying to flip some pancakes. But that's about it. Can you think of anything? I'm sure there's a poutine eating contest in Quebec somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to think of the poutine eating contest. You got to think about ketchup potato chips. Maddie, you never heard of Coffee Crisp, have you? Coffee Crisp is a Canadian thing, isn't it?
I believe so. Like this is the first time I'm actually hearing about the word Coffee Crisp.
Okay, it's a candy bar, and Tony, I got to say, it's like one of my favorite.
It's a fantastic
chocolates. Like, oh yeah, Maddie. If you ever make your way north of the border, you got to try Coffee Crisp. I think Coffee Crisp could represent Canada a lot better than ketchup potato chips. Tony, what do you think?
I think so. I mean, it is an acquired taste. Not everybody likes coffee, so maybe that flavor doesn't work. But I think a lot more people are weirded out by the ketchup chip for sure. I think
that's more of an acquired taste.
I don't think that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It feels like the ketchup chip is very weirded out. We also have the Mars bar, which is Canadian too, which is an excellent.
Oh, is it really?
Bar as well.
Really?
Yes. Newmarket, Ontario.
Okay. Yeah, Maddie, I wasn't aware. Like, I guess every now and then it's a little bit of a surprise that one thing is Canadian and one thing that is not distributed in the U.S. or created in the U.S. But I'm sure you've heard of ketchup potato chips, Matt.
I've heard of that. Like Coffee Crisp, I haven't heard of, but I'm assuming that's like the Hershey's bar in Canada.
The Coffee Crisp is okay. Tony, help me out. It's kind of like a wafer. It's a wafer wrapped in chocolate.
Okay,
yeah. And it has a coffee flavor.
Gotcha.
You know what? I'm going to correct myself here. The original Mars bar was first made in Slough, England. The company is American.
Oh,
the company is American. However, Mars Canada is responsible for producing and distributing. So they're made in Canada, but it is an American company. So
it's an American company, and it hasn't found itself in U.S. stores.
Yeah. Amazing.
Interesting. Okay. Getting back to the hot dog eating contest. I mean, obviously, it's such a fixture in the U.S. This thing is on ESPN. I'm guessing it's on local stations as well. I mean, Coney Island is just, I mean, New York, and it's just, you think about the 4th of July, you think about barbecue, you think about fireworks, and you think about that hot dog eating contest. And just as a lighthearted sort of thing, Maddie, start with you. I think competitive eating is an athletic endeavor. Do you think Joey Chestnut is an athlete because he could actually delete 70 hot dogs in 10 minutes?
Okay, I love this question. The answer to that is no, because eating 70 hot dogs is not burning calories. You're gaining calories by eating 70 hot dogs. That's number one. Number two, competitive eating, I love it. I'm a foodaholic, but I would never classify that as a sport.
But, it is an endurance activity, Tony. I mean, I'm kind of being coy here. I mean, I don't really think it's an athletic activity. But what is an athletic activity? Because, I love golf. Golf is my favorite sport to play. Mm-hmm. Do I think golf is a sport or is it a game? I mean, obviously, going up and down those hills, believe me, after 4.5 hours of playing a round of golf, I am exhausted.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, I mean, you're walking the full course for 4 hours plus, and you're...
Even on a cart?
I'm talking about professionals. They're walking.
No, sure. Yeah.
They're walking, and there's explosive things happening to your body while you're swinging, while you're, driving, swinging. Those are quick, explosive moves happening in your body. So, of course, it's athletic. I mean, I'm not a golf guy by any stretch of the imagination, but I respect the hell out of what they do. So, yeah, there's a huge difference. I mean, even curlers, which I love curling. I'm a huge curling guy. And I don't know if you knew that about me, but that
I did not know it. No, I didn't actually.
That takes a lot of strength, a lot of endurance to get through that as well, especially the guys who are sweeping for the shooters. I mean, that takes an incredible amount of strength. And you notice them all now, they're jacked to shit, a lot of these curlers. Just to be able to, go through those motions and those strokes. So, yeah, no, I would never put an eating contest person in the same category as a golfer.
I agree.
But you know what? And now I'm not being coy, because when I think about like gymnasts and gymnastics, I don't think they're athletes. I think they're more of artists. And I don't think of gymnastics as, is it more a sport or is it more of an art? And I mean, maybe with hot dog competitive eating and so on, it's one thing. But I mean, now that there are events where you had breakdancing in the Olympics, I mean, breakdancing, breakdancing, are they athletes? I don't think so. Why are gymnasts?
Well, you did bring up a good form of what gymnastics and breakdancing are classified as. It's art, but it takes a huge amount of training to be able to do a certain dance move. It takes a certain amount of training to perform a certain gymnastic tactic correctly. It takes training. Now, I'm not saying that these guys who do professional eating, they probably practice to make their bodies adapt to eat 70 hot dogs. I mean, that's probably what Joey Chestnut does. But like I said, if you're breaking a sweat and you're burning calories, they say no pain, no game. If you feel pain in your stomach from eating 70 and a half hot dogs, that's not a workout. That's a big buffet.
Yeah, I know. You guys are probably right. I guess the whole concept of, what is an athlete per se, but I mean, in terms of the hot dog eating contest, yeah, there's no chance. I mean, if I'm going to the Chinese buffet restaurant down the street from me, I gorge myself to like nobody's business. But yeah, I definitely don't feel like an athlete. That's for sure.
I can tell you right now, I'd be a sucker if you put me in front of a big piece of spaghetti and meatballs. I'll feel like a sucker if you put me in front of spaghetti and meatballs or any type of Italian food.
So is that what you would try and eat there if you were to go in a food eating contest?
It's funny. There's a place somewhere in New Jersey. I forget what it's called, but if you eat an entire pie of pizza, they give you a shirt.
Is it a fruit pie or is it a meat pie? Or do you have any idea?
It could be any type of topping you want. Any type of topping you want. You just have to finish the whole pie by yourself.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's an extra large shirt you get?
Extra large.
Tony, what about you? What's your food of choice?
You know what? I'm a pizza guy too, but I think I'm not a heavy eater. I can't eat a lot. My stomach tells a different story, but I think ice cream or chips I can probably get into a contest.
Okay.
Give her a go.
Okay.
What
type of flavor? What type of flavor?
They just do whatever. It's plain chocolate, vanilla. I'm okay. I like a twist. I'm good with that. Haagen-Dazs has some nice little flavors, like a chocolate salted caramel deal.
Mm-hmm. Right on. Yeah, with me it's sushi. Oh, I'm sorry, Tony, please.
I wouldn't do ketchup chips though.
You would not do ketchup chips. Okay.
I would be grossed out by that. I'd probably hit like a Doritos or something like that.
Yeah, I mean we were talking about potato chips before we went to air, and Maddie, of course, has heard of ketchup potato chips. It hasn't really filtered in the U.S. and but it is synonymous with Canadian cuisine. And yeah,
you would do sushi. You said sushi.
Yeah, really? Sushi. Sushi. I'm a more so sashimi, just no rice, just the actual fish itself. Yeah, I'm a pretty big seafood guy. I actually went to Boston a number of years ago. Mainly it was because we went to go see the Red Sox game, but the seafood that Boston's known for, the clam chowder. I'm a big seafood guy myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be tough to eat in large quantity, but God bless you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I brought up this topic of the hot dog eating contest. Of course, Matt is from the area, but I definitely wanted to get into the item at the Coldplay concert that took place. I don't know. You guys want to deal with it now, or do you want to get into it?
Please, let's do
it. So I personally didn't know about this Coldplay story, guys, until about an hour ago. And Tony, before you logged on for the call, Matt didn't really know anything about it. He just knew about the concert altogether. So he didn't know what exactly happened. And if you and I actually was privileged to show Matt the incriminating videotape, which I have right here.
Yeah. Oh, look at these two. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. I'm not quite sure.
Can you imagine
that guy? Man, he put himself into a ditch immediately. That was hilarious. He was gone.
Apparently she did as well, because from what I understand, both of them are married. And I did a quick
yeah. Did you check? Did you research what's
very quickly? I think you have more intel than me, Tony.
Well, that's one of the beauties about the internet. You find out quick who these people are, and apparently the guy is a big time CEO of some astronomer company out in Massachusetts or something like that, and I believe she's in HR. Don't quote me, but
that part I caught as well.
Yeah, and apparently he's worth $1.2 billion. Now his wife will beg to differ, not for much longer. He will not be worth $1.2 billion. But apparently that's his net worth. That, again, it's the internet. Take it for what you will, but that information spilled out pretty quick when that video was released throughout the day. So,
do you know when this concert took place? Do you know when this was it last night?
It was last night, and I think yesterday as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So the concert was last night, and I mean, obviously, and it was in Boston. Okay, so that's the thing that I'm really confused about. I mean, if you are a married man or woman and you're doing something silly on the side, you're going to go to a Coldplay concert where as much as 80,000 people are going to be around. And how could you do that? I mean, yeah, sure, my marriage is in the tank, but I didn't cheat on I didn't cheat on my wife. I mean, if I had some extracurricular activities, I'd be nervous just to go to a Toronto FC game, let alone to a Coldplay concert where you have 6 figures of people at that venue.
Yeah. Oh man. I would never do that. I've been dating this amazing girl for 6 months, but I would not do that. And
do what? Cheat on her, or cheat on her and bring her to bring your Miss Thing to.
I wouldn't do either one. I wouldn't do either one. That man, by the way, better get ready to sign his divorce papers.
Oh yeah. I mean,
he's getting Johnny Carson. He's getting Jeff Bezos. He's getting
Michael Jordan.
He's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
He'll take. I mean, the evidence is right there. Anyway, so no hiding.
Yeah.
You know what? They could have played it off like, hey, this is a work trip, a bunch of people, and then they got carried away while they were there. You know, they thought they were safe. But,
yeah.
Tough move. I mean, man. Tough move. That's what happens when you let the smaller head take over.
Yep.
I mean, you're just a regular Joe and Jane, and yeah, you're doing something nefarious, but I mean, you're just 2 regular people, and now you are known for having your marriage ended because Chris Martin called you out.
Right. You are busted by Chris Martin.
You got busted by Chris Martin. I have been to a single number of concerts in my life. One of the concerts that I have gone to was Coldplay, and it was at Rogers Center, and it was just such a massive display. This guy probably had the box, and they were drinking the finest champagne, and now their life is just down the crapper.
Yep.
It is something. Well, I think we're 22 minutes in, and this is the longest I think we've gone not talking about sports. So why don't we get into it? And fellas, I don't know, Maddie, I'm guessing that you were heavily interested in the All-Star game, the Major League Baseball All-Star game. It took place in Atlanta. And, Tony, I got to say that I did catch a bit of it from, say, the 6th inning onward. But, the All-Star games are what they are, especially these days. I mean, it is an exhibition game. But there is something that baseball allows itself, that there is more of a competitive spirit in baseball's All-Star game. And first things first, Tony, I guess we'll start with you. I mean, did you catch any of the All-Star game at all, or even the highlights? And now that the game is over, would you, I got to tell you, it was an exciting ending.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. I didn't watch it. I did watch the highlights. After, again, you flip through Twitter or Instagram, and everybody's talking about how great it was. I heard Schwarber hit 3 home runs, so I kind of checked the highlights out after. But it was a long day for me. Took the kids to the water park, and daughter had a soccer game. So by the time you get home at 9:00, last thing you're thinking about is turning a TV on. But the baseball All-Star game, as we know it, that's the one that lends itself to being the most competitive, right? There's no, how can you really go light, maybe the pitchers take a little bit off their fastballs or what have you, but at the same time, it comes down to an individual versus an individual. You throw the ball and you're going to try and hit the ball, right? So it lends itself to being the more competitive game anyway. And it's this new wave of players that honestly I haven't heard about in some cases. So, but they all seem very enthusiastic. They all seem pretty jacked up about being in the All-Star game, and that's where it starts, right?
Yeah, and I'm right there with you because I've definitely my interest level for baseball has certainly dropped, and of course the fact that the Blue Jays haven't really been relevant. I mean, 15 and 16 aside, but and hey, coincidentally enough, the Jays are doing pretty decent now. But we'll get into that. They are in first place. We'll get into that. But Maddie, I could only imagine that you were really interested in the All-Star game. I'm assuming that you watched.
Yes.
Your post-game analysis.
It's always a fun event. First off, the National League, they were up by, I think, 5-0 at one point, and then the American League just kind of climbed back. The home run thing, I was very surprised about. I've never seen a home run swing off to end the All-Star game. It kind of brought me back to the home run derby, which was the night before, ironically enough.
Did you even know what the deal was if it went into extra innings? Because apparently, I can't remember. I was listening to sports radio here. It was John Gibbons. John Gibbons, who's the bench coach of the Mets. He didn't know that what the deal was if the game was tied.
I honestly had no clue that was the case. Like when I heard swing off, I was like, "Wait, what? I never seen this before." But it worked because Schwarber hit 3 bombs and won it for the National League. They almost blew it late. Like I said, they were up 5-0, and then the American League climbed back. But I think what interested me or piqued my interest in the All-Star game, and you probably heard this, was the fact that ABS, or automatic balls and strikes, was used and implemented in this All-Star game, and it fairly got generally positive reviews from players. Now, why is this important? Because for those of you who watch baseball, umpires are terrible. So we needed an ABS to correct the problem about balls and strikes being called correctly, and they used it in spring training a lot prior to the regular season starting, and they brought it in here, and it was very efficient. Which I appreciate because with ABS, I know human error is a big thing. I mean, I say no human is perfect. I mean, we're all prone to error, but to make the game even smaller, to make the game smoother, and to prevent Jazz Chisholm from screaming at umpires, you need to have something to at least provide clarity without bias or without a mistake.
But don't you think? Sorry, Tony, go ahead.
Is this kind of like VAR where they can go back and...
That's exactly what it's like, yeah.
Correct.
That's exactly what it is.
All right.
So,
I didn't know about that either.
So, actually, Tony, maybe more so like the Hawkeye in tennis where a player will challenge it being in or out, ball or strike. And, I think, well, first of all, if calling balls and strikes, I don't think that there is something where your reputation is more on the line than behind home plate as an umpire, because you're dealing with 225 plus pitches, and you're always going to get remembered for the one you screw up.
Yeah.
And like maybe these guys have an efficiency rating of 98% because they got 3-4 strikes wrong. I don't know. Maddie, I've always thought that the TV providers and Major League Baseball really do the umpires a disservice by putting the strike box during the at bat.
Yeah,
because now fans can see the how far off the umpires are or are not. And I mean, I don't think they're doing the umpires any favors at all. What do you think?
It's reasonable to say that because when you see tall players like O'Neal Cruz and Aaron Judge get strike calls at the knees, you wonder, well, wait, that's not in the box. How is that a strike? You got to ultimately look at what's a swingable pitch and what's not. Now, like I said, when a guy who's 6'7" is in the box and they get a strike call right at the knees, then you're going to say, okay, that was within reach. But others would argue, okay, that's not hittable enough for them. The reason with the strike box being a disservice to umpires is that there's no consistency because you'll see balls just nip the corner of the box and they'll call it a strike. Sometimes they won't even call it a strike, then they'll call it a ball. But umpires do get the short end of the stick sometimes. But there are others like Angel Hernandez, who's gone, that royally and blatantly don't make the correct call and piss off players.
This is what I was going to say. The problem with baseball and umpires is that it's personal. It becomes personal, and you're carrying that into a series sometimes. So when you've got the same people with each other for a 3 or 4 game set, that's when things start getting convoluted. Now, this strike box that you talk about on TV, Randy, also shows when umpires get it right as well. It's not just when they get it wrong. So
Yeah, but people don't remember that.
If it's something that looks like, a ball, and then you see the replay, and it's like, oh, okay, that's a strike. It's a good call. But this is the problem I have with umpires, that it gets really personal, and it seems to be the only sport. I mean, I guess basketball to a certain point too. You could have it out for a guy who's bitching at you all game, and you might give him a text somewhere where you probably could have kept the whistle in your pocket. But everything baseball is doing lately has been great in terms of speeding up the game, the pitch clock.
Yes.
I love how they go in extra innings and put a guy on second base. I think that's really cool. So I think you want to be careful not to get back into that mode of long games. If you have what would be the amount of challenges per team?
All right.
How would it work?
All right, so for every at bat, you get 2 challenges to challenge a pitch. And in order to signal a challenge, you tap your head, and then they'll look at the pitch, and then it'll go into a challenge. If you get it right, well, actually, it doesn't matter if you get it wrong or right. If it's a huge challenge, no matter what. So you're only maximum 2 challenges per at bat where you can challenge a pitch.
For ABS.
For ABS, yes.
Per at bat?
Per at bat.
Oh.
Wow. That seems excessive. I mean, it seems like it's going to take a long time, and it also seems, be careful what you wish for, because, the last thing anybody wants to be is Armando Galarraga having an umpire screw up the chance of you getting a perfect game. But when it comes to balls and strikes, fans get charged rightly or wrongly, and now that element is gone. And are you sure? Like, I mean, obviously, if you are the victim, for lack of a better term, on a bad call, that's one thing. But there's nothing more that I would love, Maddie, with all due respect and love. I mean, like, if my Jays are playing your Yankees and you guys get sewered from a bad call and Yankee Stadium goes ballistic with rage, I'm going to love it. But I mean, if a call goes against the Red Sox and it's at Fenway Park and all the Red Sox fans are furious, you're going to love it.
Well, there's a reason why Angel Hernandez retired, but here's my thing. I also don't like it. Well, if you watch Yankee games on Yes, you'll know where this is going. I don't like how umpire is categorized: hitter friendly, pitcher friendly, neutral. I'm not a big fan of that, because it just tells you that you're going to expect a certain amount of balls and strikes. And they tell you, okay, well, hot strikes on a upper left zone or the corners, and fewer low strikes, whatever. Like, I don't like that, because why are we going to categorize or explain what an umpire is when it comes to calling balls and strikes? Like, to me, I'm just not a big fan of that, because you're separating umpires categorically. Okay, this umpire is going to call fewer low strikes. Okay, this umpire is going to call more strikes inside. Okay, but still, why do we need to do that to umpires? And just basically just do them a disservice, like you said, where it's like, okay, we're just going to reveal what their thing is. They don't have an agenda. They don't have a certain pitch they don't have a definition of what a strike is or what is a strike. It's just
Angel Hernandez aside, but go ahead.
Angel Hernandez aside, but every umpire is getting defined by what they think a strike is. And it's cruel sometimes, because these umpires are just here to call balls and strikes and go down the middle. But I also don't like umpires who mess up one call and then they make amends for it and say, okay, we'll give you this call, even though we missed this call.
Yeah, but that happens in all sports, though.
But don't umpires do it to themselves by being subjective on what their view of a strike is as maybe the
I
guy?
agree.
You know what I mean? Like some of them do have a different idea of what a strike is, which is crazy to say because a strike should be a strike and a ball should be a ball. But I think some of them do it to themselves, don't they? Like it's just, they'll approach a game saying, I will call it if it's, down this corner, more even though if it's nicked outside and not all the way in, that's a strike for me, and that's the way it's going to be. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they kind of do it to themselves.
Well, I guess to flip it on another side, Antonio, I completely agree with you. It is always amazing to me that when a pitch is a questionable call, it's called different. Well, it was called a strike, and the batter thought it was a ball. I always notice that 99 times out of 100, the batter is always correct. That ball is always out of the box that they're projecting on the on TV, and that usually the batter is always correct. I'm always intrigued about that.
Which is why when an umpire makes a bad call and a player gets flabbergasted, now you know why I think a baseball player, a batter knows what a ball and a strike is versus an umpire nowadays. And that's the sad part of it.
Yeah. So, Tony, I guess if I did officially ask, now it seems that you're in favor of robotic strike calls going forward. Is this something? I don't know how immersed you are in how much you read up on this, but this does seem that it is going to be a part of the future. We'll get to Maddie's thought in a moment, but Tony, what do you think? This is something that looks like it's going to happen.
I'm not in favor of taking the human element out of the game. I do believe you should, I think VAR has been good for soccer, although I think it takes too long sometimes. So I don't mind them having a little help, but to take it completely out of the equation, no, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it's a game for humans, played by humans, refereed and umpired by humans. Humans, like you said, Matt, they make mistakes sometimes. That's just the way it goes. But I don't know. Not a fan of that. What do you guys think?
Maddie?
I guess go ahead, Randy.
Well, I guess maybe have the umpire still there, but not for every single pitch. I can't remember, Maddie, correct me if I'm wrong, if they did test it out with every single pitch. But if there is maybe a challenge system sporadically, the umpire does their thing, and maybe they do a challenge and throw a challenge flag. Maybe I could be for that. As long as there's a severe penalty, an out for the next inning, there's got to be some sort of penalty if a player has an incorrect challenge. I mean, should it be a strike for the next at batter? Should it be an out altogether? Should it be an out for the next inning? It seems like a really unfair task for an umpire because the criticism is just so huge, and it's like I said before, their reputation is on the line every single pitch is thrown.
Yeah.
What do you think, Maddie?
So
what are your thoughts? What do you want to see happen?
Well, there's going to be kinks that are going to be worked out if they're going to make this. And remember, before they brought this to the majors, it was in the minors. They brought this to the minors. And believe it or not, I was one of those few people in 2019 who said, watch, in Major League Baseball, they're going to bring robot umpires in one day. I said this in 2019 when I was in college. And the fact that I'm right 6 years later, it actually blows my mind. Literally, it just blows my mind. But this is just the society we are on nowadays. Like, we're relying more and more on technology to prevent human error. That's the scary part of it all. Now, I actually like the fact that this is only for balls and strikes because if we had robot umpires full time and there's a play at the plate and something goes wrong,
Well, yeah, maybe something goes wrong. Maybe it gets to a point that the head office in New York changes the call. I think they got rid of the line umpires in tennis. I mean, I
they
don't
did.
see those.
They did,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, and I mean, back in the day, John McEnroe was known for. I mean,
Are you
was he known
serious?
for winning? Well, I mean, like he was known. Obviously, he was a great tennis player, but he was known for always getting in it with the chair umpire in tennis. And who doesn't love a good? I think one thing that is a kind of a lost practice is the whole manager umpire yelling match,
Yep.
like Lou Piniella did back all those years ago. I mean, like it was great, and one little thing, and then you get tossed. But so Maddie, it doesn't seem like you are for ABS.
I want to see how it works. I think the 2 challenges per at bat is kind of much, like you guys said. I think if you're going to do this, I think 1 challenge is enough. 2 is kind of obsessive because I get it. Players are keen on making sure that they get a favorable count per every at bat, but you also got to realize, like we said, humans make mistakes, and I think the human element is taken out of it with ABS. But if it's to prevent suspensions and more player umpire fights and manager umpire fights, then I guess this is the way to correct it. But remember back in the day when you were a kid in Little League and a strike was called and your dad would argue at an umpire whenever a strike wasn't called correctly?
Sure.
That's what this is going to take away.
Well, I mean, but I mean, look, if it was Game 7 of the World Series and you get jacked from a bad call, a bad strike call, I mean, I think there's value to it. I don't like the AI element in anything. I absolutely hate it. But I think that doing a challenge, provided that the punishment is severe enough, I think because another thing you got to think about too is like how much time is going to be wasted while a call is checked. I mean, tennis, they got it worked out where there is a level of enjoyment and excitement. The fans get into it. They do the clapping
True.
when there's a Hawkeye line challenge there. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, be careful what you wish for, because I do think that there is an excitement and an element that could be lost, and I don't think it would be a good way if Major League Baseball loses the human element to umpires. Guys, I did want to ask, Tony, it may be a little unfair to ask you about the All-Star game, because I got to tell you, the excitement that the players did have, let alone the fans that did stick around. I noticed that there was a lot of empty seats at Truist Park, Maddie, but I mean, I think that there is value to an All-Star game. I get it. It's not the Stanley Cup. I get it. It's not the Larry O'Brien or the Vince Lombardi, but you must be having a hell of a lot more people. You'll potentially have a hell of a lot more people watching an All-Star game rather than Game 63 of the Charlotte Hornets or the Chicago White Sox, or enter any team here. There was a lot of excitement and smiles, and both teams really wanted to win, and they did have that home run derby to decide the winner of the All-Star game. Do you think that this is something that could be looked at by the star athletes, that maybe that they might give a damn, that they actually may put some effort in an All-Star game?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't think so at all. I don't think you'll see All-Star games go away simply because They're corporate
That's another question.
events. They're corporate events for these leagues. They're very important events for these leagues. They bring, their sponsors are there. There's a lot of schmoozing going on. It's more for that than it is for anything. It's an opportunity to promote the league on a world scale as well. You have a lot of international media coming out to these events. So from that aspect, they probably won't go away. Every once in a while, you'll see different gimmicky things set up. Like there's rumors that the NBA wants to do a U.S. versus the world, and obviously we saw what our four nations did. Pardon me if the dog's growling, by the way. I think
That's all good.
I think she sees
I was
a rabbit
wondering
in the back. I think she sees a rabbit in the backyard. And
I was wondering if you had dinner yet.
No, so I don't see them going away, but at the same time, I mean, you think you're going to get an effort level from NBA players? There's no fucking chance.
And I get it. And this whole thing about the corporate thing, Maddie, and I see that, and I agree with Tony. Obviously, it is important to the leagues and such, but what are we looking at here? That a lot of these tickets for the All-Star game are comped. Are they just simply going to a nice restaurant having dinner? Probably not. Like the corporate, the big advertisers for said league are, getting tanked in the luxury boxes. That's a possibility. Maybe there's a few thousands of tickets that are given out to the corporate sponsors. I mean, how much money are they potentially making? And Tony's absolutely right. The worst All-Star game I will never, ever watch in my life is the NBA All-Star game. What if the NBA cancels the All-Star game? Who's going to miss it? I mean, yeah, please go ahead.
Now, about All-Star games, I admit the NFL has their own All-Star game called the Pro Bowl. And one thing that they did, and I love it when they did this, after the Super Bowl, the Pro Bowl used to be on after the Super Bowl. And it was a way that players could make money. And back then, like in the pre-2000s, players gave a damn about the Pro Bowl. But in return, in terms of like now with All-Star games in MLB and even in the NBA, well, the NBA All-Star Game festivities, apart from the three-point contest and the slam dunk contest, the NBA All-Star weekend is kind of a dud. Let's be honest.
You could include the slam dunk. It's really just every now and then the slam dunk is awesome. But I mean, it's been a decade since there was any relevancy to slam dunk. But please, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
People love a good slam dunk contest. Anyway, the players in the NBA, they just throw up soft shots. They don't play defense. The MLB All-Star Game, this was actually kind of different because there was a dramatic conclusion to this where they had a swing off, and I thought that was kind of cool. Now I missed the days of the Major League All-Star Game where home field advantage for the World Series was up for grabs. I missed that, and I think that they should bring that.
Absolutely, and I think that's exactly what's missing. I think that's a start. You can't throw money at these guys. Offer them $10 million to win the NBA All-Star game. Part of me still thinks that they're still going to dog it.
They're not going to care.
Yeah, and but I mean, Game 7, home court advantage for the winner of the All-Star game. I think they'd give a damn. Imagine being Oklahoma City, who won 65 games. I mean, they were threatening to have a 70-win season, and they lose and don't get home court advantage because the Western Conference didn't win the All-Star game. I mean, Shea is, and I mean, the star of that team would more than likely be in that All-Star game. You put the blame on the All-Star. I mean, I think it would be gold. I mean, I know that we've talked about it a number of times, Tony. Why not have that caveat? Because if I'm the league, well, here's another thing too. I'm a league like the NBA, and I have all these corporate sponsors here, and they are going to that event If I was a corporate guy, if I was the CEO, maybe I could be the CEO of the who was at the Coldplay concert. But I mean, if I was like some big to do, there is no chance. Maybe I'll go to the parties. I'm not going to that All-Star game.
But I agree with you that there should be an incentive. Like I think World Series, NBA Finals, whoever wins gets Game 7. I feel like that should be the caveat because I don't know what Tony's gonna say, but I feel like that should be like there needs to be something up for grabs. Money's not gonna be the answer because these guys are making a bunch of money anyway, especially Major League Baseball where they're getting $500 million contracts. It seems. This, on the other hand, World Series home field advantage, and same with the NBA Finals home field advantage. That's massive, especially because they do these All-Star games in the middle of the season. I feel like that matters more than anything. Just give them a big, juicy incentive, and the players will play.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Chances are probably it's not going to take place. The All-Star game is going to be around. Certain athletes, especially basketball players. I mean, the hockey All-Star game sucks too.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, I was in Toronto. I didn't care to watch a single second of it. But baseball's All-Star game is pretty cool.
It is.
And it kind of breaks my heart though, because it just seems it's an indicator that summer's, close to ending. Well, not close to ending. I mean, we still got a couple of months left. Actually, you know what? Forget about it. But hey, Tony, the All-Star game, the Midsummer Classic, is a good indicator of how fans' respective teams are doing. And hey, look at those Toronto Blue Jays, first place. I mean, I didn't see this coming. Did you actually think that the Toronto Blue Jays could be in first place at the All-Star break?
Oh God, no! It's a surprise. Absolutely not. And as you know, last year I declared myself a Toronto Blue Jay fan in recess. I was hoping for Shapiro and Atkins era to end, and much to my chagrin, it did not. So going into this season, I was kind of boycotting it. They weren't selling it to me. They weren't doing anything for me. I was kind of over the Vladdy Bo Bichette era as well. But here they are, shocking Major League Baseball right now. They got into a nice run, 10-game winning streak, including a 4-game sweep of the New York Yankees, which has set them on their path. Now, having said that, it's just still a lot of time left for them to fuck it up, and we've seen them do it before. So trade deadline will be huge for that team. They need some pitching help for sure, and they probably need more out of Vladdy as well. And it's another amazing thing. It's not like he's been playing out of his mind, and Bo Bichette's been hurt a lot. So they're getting a lot of contributions from different guys that we haven't heard of before. To be honest with you, and of course my spirit animal Alejandro Kirk, one of my favorite athletes in the world, playing his ass off. I mean, you gotta love guys that look like you. I mean, that's you look at the guy. He's short, he's stumpy, and he's kicking ass in Major League Baseball. That's my kind of guy. He's like my Phil Kessel. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Go on an Ironman streak on Kit Kats and pizzas and hot dogs. That's your off ice training regime, and you're the Iron Man of the National Hockey League. And
apparently.
It's the same way I feel about Alejandro Kirk too. I mean, how many times have you said that this guy can't be around for much longer, can he? But here he is. He's the everyday catcher for your Blue Jays. So it's great to see. I'm still not a fan of the Atkins Shapiro era, but I'm not going to let that stop me from hoping this team does well. That's for sure. But no, I didn't see it at all. And anybody who said they did see it is lying out of their ass.
I mean, very quickly about Kirk, is he like Bartolo Colombo shorter? I mean, and they both play as demanding a position as you can get with pitching and catcher.
That's the thing. He's the furthest looking thing you can see from an athlete, but yet he's playing at an incredibly high level, and he's playing a tough position catcher, of course. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love that guy.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I mean, Maddie, you like knowing how deep into baseball a fan you are, and are you surprised about the Jays? They do have a couple of pieces here and there. I'm not. I mean, Chris, say what you want about Chris Bassett, Barrios. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of hopes on a guy like Scherzer, but they had a couple of things here and there, but you didn't really expect them to be in first place, did you?
I think what kickstarted them was Vladdy signing that long-term extension.
You think so?
I think that's what it was, because remember, this team was 0-6, 0-7 to start the year, and fans were saying, "Sell the team, fire Schneider." Like they were ready to give up on the season, and then Vlad signs that contract, and then things turn around. The pitching is okay. The defense infield is good. They're hitting the ball really well. I think that the Blue Jays are overall well coached. I think that the team is poised to make it to the playoffs. Do I think they're going to win the division title? I definitely, for my sake, because I'm a Yankee fan, I hope not. I want them to make the playoffs, but it's just like, it's amazing what a little thing can do to a team, because the Blue Jays have talent. They got Anthony Santander too. Now, I pity the Blue Jays sometimes, because this was the team that was supposed to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Shohei Ohtani.
No, don't even go there. There was no chance they were getting either of those guys. Toronto, for every sport, they always get pulled off as patsies, as that they are in the running for said player. I mean, you and I have even gone through this, Maddie. Like, Toronto gets used like, those guys in high school who think they have a chance with the captain of the cheerleading team. I'm not speaking from experience, mind you, but whatever. But anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted you guys.
It's fine. Well, the term is used and abused, and I feel sorry for Blue Jay fans sometimes, because they've really been ripped off quite a few times. But no, I genuinely am impressed with how this team has bounced back since Vladdy signed the contract. Like I said, all you had to do was lock up Guerrero. Now, whether or not Bichette gets locked up, I think what happens in the second half of the year will determine that. Because like Tony said, Bichette's had some health problems. Now, I think that this Blue Jay team, like I said, can make the postseason. Do I think they'll make it far into the postseason? We'll have to see. I mean, unless anyone can upset Detroit, I'm not sure how far the Blue Jays are going to go.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit is another team. Wasn't it just recently that a couple years ago where didn't they have a 100-loss season, the Detroit Tigers?
They did. Yeah.
A couple years ago, and now they're the toast of the American League, and the Jays are kicking. It's impressive, but Maddie, you touched on something. I wanted to get both of your opinions on this. And Maddie, as you were saying, how Guerrero. The signing that contract was potentially what kickstarted the Blue Jays. But Guerrero's got 12 home runs. He's under 275. Just over 275. 12 homers, less than 50 RBIs. And he's getting paid $500 million. And if I am a guy, let's say Addison Barger, I don't have his stats in front of me, but he's been a real renaissance this season. He's been a real plug. Him, Ernie Clement, George Springer. My God! Now, of course, Springer signed for big numbers. But if I'm a guy on, say the Jays, and I see a Vladdy struggling the way that he is, in the way that a $500 million player is, and those production numbers, I would be furious. And I don't know. I just don't see how anybody could be motivated when you have a teammate that is producing less as you and making that kind of money.
Well, you did hammer a good point. And actually, I think it's $825 million when you add the signing bonus. Like, he got $325 million for something else. I forget what it was, but he got more money for that. But Guerrero hitting 12 home runs, batting just over 275. I mean, that's kind of shocking in my eyes because you figure that he gets his money, he would put his foot down and actually play well. I mean, he's been struggling. I mean, I guess it just gives the Blue Jays that spirit of, okay, we signed our guy long term. Now we can probably put our foot on the gas pedal and actually hit. I mean, I don't know where the Toronto is getting this from, to be honest with you. Now that you mentioned Vladdy's stats. But honestly, I think it's a combination of them playing well and the Yankees shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, perhaps. Please, Tony.
No, I'm just. Funny enough, I did pull their stats because I haven't. I wanted to sound somewhat smart when we were talking about this. He's actually got one more home run than. He's actually got one more home run than Vladdy does on the season so far. Batting average 261. Vladdy's 277. So, the WARs. I know WARs are big numbers now. What does 2.7 mean, Matt? What is?
Yeah, you want to help us out, Matt?
So
Tony and I are old school guys.
Wins above replacement, meaning
right.
If you take a player away from a lineup, how many more wins will we get with this guy in the lineup?
So you take Vladdy out of the lineup and you win 2.7. Is that what they're saying?
No, you would lose. You would lose 2 points.
Lose?
Oh no. Okay, so you take away Vladdy's stats, and the Jays would have lost over 2.5 games.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a big deal because if your WAR is higher, like for instance, Aaron Judge's WAR is like 70 something, which is right on point because he's responsible for a lot of the stuff the Yankees do.
Yeah, what is Aaron Judge's WAR? Give me a second here.
I honestly
7.1. 7.1.
Okay.
My God, that's
ridiculous.
huge. Trent Grisham 2.5.
So 2.7 is not that high for a guy making.
It's higher than Grisham, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
Okay, very quick. I got to see what Otani's WAR is.
Okay.
Because Tony and I we weren't really versed with these new metrics.
I was not on board with re-signing Vladdy. I understand why they did it. I was just not on board with it. I know why the organization kind of had to do it. But time will tell. I don't trust him. I know that was a couple of the next questions you had for me coming up, so I kind of jumped the shark there. But I don't see him as he's just way too inconsistent for me. I know it's tough to be consistent in baseball. I mean, it's not an easy sport. I get it, but it just feels like other teams' stars just produce a lot more frequently and don't make. There's a lot of dumb errors on the field too. You've noticed that, and they've won despite some of those too. But
right.
I hope I'm wrong. I don't hate the guy. I just don't. I don't see him in that category as some of the other players that you mentioned right now, like an Aaron Judge, Acuna. Am I wrong? I have no idea.
No, absolutely not.
You're on
Maddie,
point.
please.
You're on point. You're on point.
And Tony, I agree with you. I mean, he obviously his father has a big footprint in baseball in Canada with his career and what he accomplished as a Montreal Expo. Guerrero Jr. himself was born in Montreal. Guerrero.
He was one of my favorite players.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. I mean, no batting gloves either. That guy just smacked the shit out of the ball all over the place.
Oh yeah. And that cannon that he had in right field.
That arm he was something else. Guess he didn't put his son on the same eating program that he was on, I guess.
Because Guerrero Senior, he was lean and he looked like he just looked for sure. And then Junior just comes and nowadays he looks okay, but but Tony, I'm right there with you. Now, that being said, George Springer is having a great year this year, but what did we think of George Springer before this season? Could Vladdy turn it around, or do you think that he does have a mindset of what are you going to do?
Listen, Vladdy's too good of a hitter not to have a streak in him coming up, in the second half of the season. I'm like I said, I don't hate the player. I don't think you put that kind of investment in a guy like that, especially with the position he plays. I think he's got a streak in him. There's no question about it. George Springer, same thing, but George Springer also goes through a lot of health issues in and out of the lineup. He was so here he is. He's playing healthy, playing consistent baseball, and you see what could happen when he's feeling good. But it's the same thing with Springer. You don't know what you're going to get because he's had some history of injuries too now, and he's been playing for a long time now too. We don't realize it that he had a good run in Houston, and but at least there's an effort level and an awareness on the field that you're going to get from George Springer. You're going to get it from him, right? I just don't see that with Vladdy sometimes, and I don't want to say he's not giving an effort, but it's just maybe some things are just hard for him to do because of the shape he's in. I don't know. I don't know where his brain is at in certain moments, but I think Vladdy's got a streak in him coming up. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. He can go the entire month of August and just completely heat up, and I wouldn't be shocked. I just want to see more of that consistently. That's all.
Yeah.
Any guesses on what Shohei's WAR is? So reminder: Aaron Judge's he's
7.1.
7.1. Anybody wants to give Shohei guess on Shohei?
I'm gonna take a wild guess. 8.6.
Tony?
Well, I'm gonna hover in the area that Matt's in because I'll take his word for it. I'll say 8.7 just to honor Sidney Crosby.
Well done. Well, so Aaron Judge is leading Major League Baseball. Shohei Ohtani, according to ESPN, is at 4.3.
Whoa!
He is, he's tied with Fernando Tatis Jr. Top three: Aaron Judge, Pete Crow Armstrong at 5.2, and tied for third is Zach Wheeler and Cal Raleigh. So. Now,
could it be at that number because he's got a more stacked team with him and there's just more guys sharing the love there with the WAR? Am I off?
I mean, Matty, what do you think about this?
That actually kind of surprised me. Like I said, that was half of what I guessed. I think it's probably because the Dodgers are more well-rounded, and I think if like I said, you watch Yankee games, Aaron Judge is going to carry them in some way, shape, or form. With the Dodgers, it's someone different almost every game. One game it's Ohtani, one game it's Betts, one game it's Freeman, one game it's Gavin Lux. It depends on how it goes, but mainly it's Lux, Teoscar Hernandez, Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Ohtani carrying the load.
So I'm right then.
Well, wait a minute. Sorry, Shohei's the leadoff batter, isn't he?
Yes.
What about Aaron Judge?
Aaron Judge bats mainly third. He bats mainly third for the Yankees.
So I wonder if, so he bats third. So third cleanup. Yeah, maybe there's more opportunity to knock runners in, I guess. I don't know.
True.
But, that's interesting. Listen, very quickly, when are we going to give Cal Raleigh a break and give him a different nickname? That nickname, the Big Dumper, has to be the worst nickname. I was speaking of be careful what you wish for, because one thing that really pisses me off is hockey players when they refer to each other like the nicknames that they have, if you want to call it that. Like, of course, I'm drawing on a blank here, but I mean,
they just put a Y at the end of everything. Right?
Yeah, like with Tony, his nickname would be Auntie. I don't know what you're going to do with me because there's a Y at both my first and last name. So
that's right.
What do I?
It'll be called Rando.
Rando or Coors? No, it's going to be Coors. I'm going to be
Coors.
I'm going to be called
Coors.
after a beer.
We'll call you Coors Light.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No, you haven't seen my waistline. Believe me, I'm not light. But yeah, the big dumper. I'm
Now, why
impressed
is
with
he
Cal
called
Raleigh
that?
because of his butt.
Oh, he's got a big.
He's
He's
got
got a hockey ass.
he's got a wide ass. Yeah, that's
He's got a
exactly
hockey
what it is.
player's ass, eh?
And
It's all about the
yeah,
bass. The bass. No treble. It's all about the bass. Oh, sorry.
yeah, it's all good. I mean,
Oh man.
yeah. Anyway, but hey, he's having a hell of a year, and I wonder if he's going to be able to ride it out to an MVP season, leading the league with home runs. I mean, what are we going to see? I mean, what's the AL record now, Maddie, for home runs that
It
Judge?
is 62, set by the captain Aaron Judge back in 2022.
So, I mean, Cal Raleigh, he's on a good track. He's on a good track.
Never thought I'd say
Guys.
this, but sorry, I never thought I'd say this, but I got to check out this guy's ass now.
Yeah. Well, Tony, as you do that, we will flip over to hockey. And Leaf fans, of course, are licking their wounds. Mitch Marner is now a Vegas Golden Knight. And a lot of people did see this coming. But did we see it to the degree where Marner just seems to have a completely different way of expressing himself? I got a clip for you guys. There you see it. He's woofing it up. One thing that I thought was really cute was holding his newborn. I believe it's a son. But this is what really got to me. Now he's dancing, and now he's woofing it like he's. Oh, look at that!
Now, I disagree a little bit there. That's a lot in his wheelhouse. I mean, he made the gritty very popular in the NHL. He was always clowning around and doing that stupid dance that my preteen daughters used to do watching TikTok. So this is very much.
Oh, are you talking about the floss, or was it the gritty itself?
The gritty. I mean,
I don't recall Marner doing this.
On his wedding day, when they announced the bride and groom, he came in doing the gritty.
I vaguely
you gotta
remember
check that video, but that's kind of in his wheelhouse. He's always like that. But you can certainly see that there's a huge sigh of relief, big, nice, deep breath, saying, all right, this is a new beginning. We're ready to start here. Let's go. This is cool.
Yeah, and I get it. Maddie, I'd love to get your thoughts on what the scene is like for athletes in New York. But, Tony, how low is the bar for Marner specifically in Vegas? Because, look, he was an elite level player. I think he won a Selke, but I don't think I'm that far off to say that Marner was top 10 in the league. But when everything is said and done in his career, what will it take for fans to think of Marner more so as a Golden Knight than a Leaf? I don't think it's going to take a heck of a lot.
That's a tough question. He'll obviously be remembered as a Leaf. I mean,
really?
Yeah.
He wins a cup and he's going to be remembered. But wait a minute, he wins a cup as a Golden Knight. He's going to be remembered as a Leaf.
He'll still be remembered. He'll be remembered as a longtime member of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the failed core four. Of course. How many people in Vegas are going to pay attention to him? And that's one of the going there, right? But when you talk about Mitch Marner down the line, you're always going to say he was a longtime member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's where he got his start from. Eventually, he left and won the Stanley Cup with the Golden Knights. I mean, it's still a long way out, so it's tough to say. But you're not going to forget the fact that he played for the Leafs. That's crazy. It's ridiculous, right?
Okay.
Did you forget that Ray Bourque played for the Boston Bruins?
That's a bad example. I think that's a bad example. Okay, but here's a great one for you. You remember Joe Thornton as a Boston Bruin or as a San Jose Shark?
Well, yeah, obviously that's.
I think that's a great comparative.
Joe Thornton didn't spend 9 years with the Bruins before the Bruins
I don't
traded
know. I
him.
think it was.
They pulled the trigger quick on him.
Was it really that quick? I'm going to pull the stats, but because Matty, to put you right on the spot, and maybe it's a bad example as well, but Roy Halladay, he spent 12 years in Toronto. Did he get to a World Series? I think he got to a World Series with Philadelphia. He definitely pitched a no-hitter and a perfect game.
He did.
He won the same number of Cy Youngs in Toronto and Philly. As an American, do you remember Roy Halladay as a Philly or a Blue Jay?
Me, I remember Halladay more as a Philly than a Blue Jay. That's probably because I'm more American-oriented, so it just comes to me that way.
8 years as a Boston Bruin, by the way. My apologies.
Yeah. So I mean, but
6 years.
But okay, sure. So that being said, like, do you remember Joe Thornton as a Shark or a Bruin? And let's say Marner. I'm sorry. Please go ahead.
No, obviously he was more of a Shark. That's 15 years, I believe, 15, 16 as a San Jose Shark. Yes, I mean he got to the Stanley Cup final as a San Jose Shark. Absolutely, I understand what you're saying, but you're not going to forget the fact that he was a Leaf. He's he was part of the vaunted core four that got past the first round twice in their time together. You're not going to forget that, right?
Yeah,
and I get what Matt's saying, because he doesn't have an attachment to Roy Halladay as a Blue Jay, so he's going to remember him as a Philadelphia Philly. But
yeah.
Because I just heard on the radio, Tony's a number one fan of LeBron James. Of course, I'm saying that sarcastically, but LeBron James' run with the LA Lakers is the longest he has had with one team.
Are you serious?
LA Lakers.
I heard that, and that's amazing.
Because
that is amazing.
Well, I think this is a great question. What do you remember LeBron James as? He went to the finals 4 straight years with the Miami Heat. He went to 8 straight with Miami and Cleveland. He won 1 championship with Cleveland. He won 1 championship with LA. His longest run has been in LA. I remember him as more as a Cleveland Cavalier.
I honestly remember him more as a Cavalier for one thing and one thing only. Cleveland, this is for you.
But he went to all 4 years that he was in Miami. He went to the finals, and he won 2 of them. I mean, please, Tony, go ahead.
No, I think of him as a Cavalier as well. I guess because it's his home state. It's who drafted him first overall.
The man from Akron, the kid from Akron.
He's the kid from Akron. Yeah. He went back and brought them their championship and all that, blah, 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 and screamed out that stupid thing, cringy as it could be. I also remember LeBron James for the guy who helped ruin basketball over the last 10, 15 years, so 20 years, but that's another story. But, I guess Cleveland is where I would attach him to. But you know what? If Mitch wins the Stanley Cup in Las Vegas and he plays a big part in it, sure. Yeah. I mean, things could change, but we live in the market, I guess, Randy. So we're always going to look at Mitch Marner and his time in Toronto, and we're not going to just forget about it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure we won't forget about it. And Maddie, I apologize if this show is too Canadian centric, too Toronto centric.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, but, it's Voice of the Fans Canada.
It is.
That's
so
true.
Matt
That's
does
true.
know what
That's
he's.
true.
Yeah. Matt knows what he's getting into. But Tony and I, we're victims here, Maddie. We have a great love affair for our respective teams, and we have seen time and time again, star athletes leaving Toronto, and we saw it with. Now, whether it was because of the city or other reasons, but between Vince Carter and Chris Bosh and, to a degree, Roy Halladay, nobody.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard, of course. You get that same sense that has happened multiple times in New York.
That's an
the
excellent
Mecca.
question. That's a good question. Thank God for guys like Aaron Judge who actually stick with their team for the entire time. People don't really realize it's hard to play in a New York market. I'm pretty sure Toronto, it's kind of the same thing. Big city markets are going to put pressure on an athlete mentally, and when they don't, and then when they fail in big markets, they have the tendency to go somewhere else where they feel like there's not as much pressure. New York, you're very rarely to find an athlete that stays their entire tenure with the New York sports team. Jeter is a rare instance. Judge is a rare instance. Brunson doesn't count because he played Dallas before he even went to New York. And then we'll go to guys like Eli Manning or guys like Wilt Chamberlain. Guys who play in New York their entire time. I'm not counting Alex Rodriguez either because he started in Texas and Seattle before he even came to New York. So for a market like Toronto, you're rarely hard-pressed to find people who last their entire careers there because they just feel the pressure of not just the city, but an entire nation. Because think of it, in Canada, correct me if I'm wrong, you win a cup for a Canadian team like the Raptors in 2019, you're going to feel beloved by the community and by the country.
Well, Raptors, yes. Jays, yes. Toronto Maple Leafs, hell no. I mean, Toronto. There's definitely a following in other provinces. Let alone, in Montreal and in Quebec, there's a Leaf following. Western Canada, but no. I mean, that in the NHL, that's where the comparatives are to, say, sports leagues within the U.S. I mean, sure, there are going to be Yankee fans in every state, but there's going to be a lot of resentment and a lot of fans who are wishing the very worst for the Yankees, for say the Kansas City Chiefs, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, it is really interesting that there are so many Leaf fans in the province of Alberta when they go to play the Calgary Flames, the Edmonton Oilers, and all throughout Canada. There's a massive Montreal Canadiens following here in Toronto. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of people, myself included, that absolutely despise the Montreal Canadiens. One team, I mean, if Montreal, if they beat Tampa in the that Cup final in 21, man, I would have committed suicide. I mean, that would have been the worst. But a little bit harsh. But hey, Maddie, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about your New York Rangers. They did lose Keandre Miller. They got Gavrikov. I mean, what do you think about the Rangers? Are you looking forward to the upcoming season?
Well, my thing with the Rangers is that, they fired Pete Laviolette after 2 years, and you figured that they were going to go through changes. They went through dramatic changes. They traded away Chris Kreider as well. Kreider's gone. Keandre Miller is gone. A lot of their homegrown talent.
Chris Kreider, of course, the captain.
A lot of their homegrown talent are gone. And I think that's going to hurt Ranger fans. But think of it. This team won the President's Trophy a couple of years ago, which is actually kind of a curse now that you think about it, because not only do they not win the Stanley Cup Trophy, they also rebuild the following year or 2 years after that. So the Rangers right now, I mean, I don't know what my outlook should be, if it's positive or negative, because they had a big following after the 2023-24 season. They took a massive step backwards. Matt Rempe is not even playing as often as he should because he's just too aggressive and people don't want to get in the same rink with him. But this Ranger team, to me, is just like, I don't know what I'm going to get. All I have in the back of my head is 94 was the last time they won a Stanley Cup, and then before then 1940. And that will be the chance that people are going to be screaming in Madison Square Garden for years to come.
Yeah. I remember, Tony and I remember when the Rangers won that Stanley Cup. And what else was going on, Tony? That was the start of World Cup 94. And wasn't the day O.J. Simpson? Yeah.
The O.J. Simpson trials, yeah.
Was that that wasn't the day that the Rangers won the cup, right? Or was that game
No,
one?
that was the NBA Finals. I think it was Game 1 of the NBA Final when they went straight to the Ford Bronco chase on the freeway in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was
And the Knicks
Nick.
were in that final.
That's
Knicks were
true.
in
That's
that
right.
final against
Yeah.
Houston.
Can't remember who. It had to be Houston.
Well, no, it was Houston. Yeah, because Jordan
that
retired,
was
and
that was when Michael Jordan was
Jordan
playing
retired the
baseball.
first time to play baseball.
yeah. Huh. Before we put a clamp on the hockey guys, I wanted to talk about a very interesting story that's taken place with regards to the NCAA. And could it very well be that the NCAA is looking at hockey as a sport that may be on the rise? This after it has been determined and that hockey players will be able to receive monies for playing in the NCAA Division I hockey. The big note was Gavin McKenna, who was a sought-after prospect, expected to be number one in next year's NHL draft. He went from the Medicine Hat Tigers of the Canadian Hockey League, a developmental league. It's been around. It's a staple, really, here of grooming hockey players to be players in the NHL, and he's going to the to Penn State University. And Maddie, I don't know how much you follow NCAA hockey, but it doesn't really compare from my vantage point to basketball, both women's and men's, football. But it looks like hockey and the NCAA, they really want to try and elevate its profile. And how do you foresee hockey in the U.S. In the next few years? I mean, I think that one exercise that really elevated the profile of hockey was, in fact, the Four Nations face-off. I mean, between that and cities like Las Vegas and Miami winning Stanley Cup championships, I mean, I don't think that either, let alone Tampa. It seems that there's a lot of possibilities for hockey in the U.S.
Well, if there's any person that knows more about hockey than myself, it's Alec Nava. Alec Nava is one of the most amazing hockey fans I know, and he's part of Foursquare Sports. But I know quite a bit of hockey myself. The Gavin McKenna of it all, I want to get into that for a little bit because Gavin is only 17 years old, and he got recruited to play for Penn State at the age of 17. That's something that you really don't hear from in anything. I mean, 17, you're not even allowed to you're not even a legal adult yet at 17 years old. You're still a minor. But
he's got to wait 4 years to buy a drink. He's going to be graduated.
Exactly. But like the guy is, but like I've seen highlights of this guy. He is probably the next generational prospect, and I think this is the guy that people are wishing Connor Bedard was when he went to Chicago to play for the Blackhawks. This kid Gavin McKenna has a lot of potential. He's fast. He's efficient with the puck. He can score. And Penn State pounced on this because they were in the Frozen Four not too long ago, and they figure, okay, we're getting a little bit of momentum. Let's try and see if we can grab this kid. And sure enough, they got him. And Penn State had a really good team last year. Now, the Big Ten in hockey, which is a college conference, hasn't really won a hockey championship. The Big Ten's really good with every other sport, but in hockey, they're trying to crack that ceiling. And I think Gavin McKenna will do that. Now, Gavin McKenna is also on a very good hockey team in Penn State that's very well-rounded. Now, you're going to get the same 4 or 5 programs like Boston University or Cornell that will still contend for the hockey championship in the NCAA level. But if you're watching the Frozen Four on a consistent level, you'll realize the product is getting better. And what do you do when you see something's getting better or you see that it's getting more traction? You put more money into it. You invest more in it. And you promote it more. And that's what the NCAA sees with the hockey. And now that this generational prospect is with a big-time university, the NCAA is going to pounce on that even more.
Yeah, and I think they're going to pounce on it at the expense of the Canadian Hockey League. And Tony, the fact is that Gavin McKenna is reported to have received $750,000 US to play college hockey, and I think that's per season. And more than I do that the Canadian Hockey League, with the exception of the London Knights, do not generate that kind of revenue. I mean, how is a team in the Canadian Hockey League supposed to spend $2, $3, $4 million on its hockey players? I think this is a big problem for the CHL. What about you?
Too early to tell. There's a lot of
You think so?
parts here. It's still too early to tell. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts here. Gavin McKenna is an exceptional case. And let's not forget, he was deemed an exceptional player in the WHL at the age of 14, which is a year earlier than what we're used to seeing. We've seen guys like Connor McDavid get exceptional status 15. So now there were rules in place where he was only able to play about 16 games at the age of 14 in the WHL. So he's been around for a while, which is one of the reasons why he was able to sign, because they had reached the max because these CHL players have contracts. I don't know if you know that. I tried to study.
I didn't know that.
They have contracts.
I thought
so they're kind of tied to their teams for 2 or 3 years or something like that. I'm not sure, and that could change too. That's why I said it's too early to tell, and things are very fluid. But basically, Gavin McKenna was able to make this move because of the service time he's put into the WHL, despite being 17 years old, Matt. And I think it was a smart move for him as well in his draft year, because
absolutely
you get to practice more and play less, which is good for the body going into your draft year.
Yes.
You're still gonna, and I think college life is a lot different than CHL life, where you live in billet homes, so you have a mother and father figure there taking care of you, teaching how to cook, teaching you how to do laundry, teaching you how to do chores. Whereas the college life, probably be a little more independent, a little more free, shall we say?
Yeah, I think that it's a lot different when you're, say, at Ohio State University versus playing for the Kelowna Rockets.
Yeah.
But please go ahead.
Apparently, Penn State has a state-of-the-art arena that Terry Pagula built a few years back, because he's an alumni there. Yeah,
he was.
Okay.
He was an alumni. So there's a lot of benefits for him to do this. Like I said, all this stuff has happened so fast. It's hard for me to have an opinion one way or another. I'd like to see it play out a little bit more, but certainly the CHL has some work to do. Some people say this also benefits the USHL as well, because they have different rules as well. And there's all of a sudden this could spring into a USHL and CHL kind of combining and playing like a Champions League type thing at junior level. So there could be a lot of good things that come out of this for everybody involved. But certainly the NCAA, with their ability to pay that kind of money, even to a hockey player, is certainly an advantage. But I don't want to jump the gun yet and say they're in trouble. They've got some work to do. It's still too early to tell. The CHL is still probably the best way to go, because you get that National Hockey League type schedule from the get-go. You're playing junior. You're playing that kind of grind, so you're used to it. But, yeah, way too early for me to tell if they're in trouble or not. But there's also limits to how much money these guys can make, too, because of their visa situations. Now, from my understanding, Gavin McKenna, being Canadian, can make what he's making on campus as a player, obviously. But there aren't a lot of opportunities for him off campus to make money. So unless Penn State has like an exhibition game in Canada, then he can go fucking nuts and just sign autographs for 8 hours and make millions of dollars. So honestly, you got to have like a good tax lawyer handy to figure out how he can make.
I'm pretty sure Penn State can. I'm pretty sure Penn State could set Gavin McKenna up.
But you have to be careful. There's certain types of visas that he needs to have access to and all that. So there's so many moving parts, but it's intriguing. It's interesting. I can't wait to watch some. I know TSN shows some American college games, so it's going to be interesting to watch for sure. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not going to say they're in trouble yet. There's my final.
I am.
Okay.
I am. I think because really, I mean, especially in the area, Maddie, where I live in, which is just outside of Toronto, it's been a revolving door of franchises that have, when they first started playing games in the Canadian Hockey League here in Brampton, Ontario, you had the original team in Brampton go to North Bay. You had the original team in Mississauga go to close to Niagara Falls. Then the team from Toronto went to Mississauga. Now it's in Brampton. I think the team in Niagara Falls is it's on the rocks. Like, it's just been an absolute nightmare. And they're playing in 4,000 seat arenas. Most of the tickets are not, like, it's usually 50% capacity throughout the entire league, let alone in this area, in the Greater Toronto area. Maybe the Oshawa Generals, where Eric Lindros played for, maybe they have a good drawing there. But I mean, those tickets are dirt cheap. There isn't a national television contract for the Canadian Hockey League. They're done. I'm calling it right now, Tony. But I know that you chimed in. So
just don't commit suicide when you're wrong.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Sorry, you were about to say something?
No, I'm just saying it's tough to, like, junior hockey in the Greater Toronto area never worked. It's never going to work. And we can't use that as a gauge because it's very successful in other small towns across Canada. But, they've tried so hard to push junior hockey within the Greater Toronto area, whether it be Brampton, Mississauga. They had the Toronto St. Mike's team. It's just wishful thinking. It always was. It just doesn't work here. But you're right. It's. I wouldn't say it's on the rocks either. It's just they've got some things to work on. That's all.
They do. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Final segment of the show is upon us, fellas. It's time for Straight Facts. Bro, relax. Tony, I don't know if we've ever really talked about golf in any capacity on this show, but Scottie Scheffler.
We have. I told you about my experience watching Tiger Woods at the Canadian Open in 2000. Live.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How many years ago was that? I mean, like 2000? When we were talking about it on the show. No, not the experience, not the event itself. But off the top of my head,
ago.
No, it was that recent? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. I mean, golf is my favorite sport to play. I'm getting more and more interested watching it. Of course, the British Open is happening right now, the Open Championship. And Scottie Scheffler did make some comments that was rather intriguing. I'm going to run the whole clip. It's over 90 seconds, but I think he did have a lot to say.
I'm not here to inspire somebody else to be the best player in the world, because what's the point? This is not a fulfilling life. It's fulfilling from the sense of accomplishment, but it's not fulfilling from a sense of, like, the deepest, places of your heart. There's a lot of people that make it to what they thought was going to fulfill them in life, and then you get there and all of a sudden you get to number one in the world, and then they're like, what's the point? And I really do believe that, because what is the point? You're like, why do I want to win this tournament so bad? That's something that I wrestle with on a daily basis. It's like showing up at the Masters every year. It's like, why do I want to win this golf tournament so badly? Why do I want to win the Open Championship so badly? I don't know. Because if I win, it's going to be awesome for about 2 minutes. And then we're going to get to the next week, and it's going to be like, hey, you won 2 majors this year. How important is it for you to win the FedEx Cup playoffs? And it's just like, we're back here again, So we really do. We work so hard for such little moments. And, I'm kind of a sicko. I love putting in the work. I love being able to practice. I love getting out to live out my dreams. But at the end of the day, sometimes I just don't understand the point, because I don't know if I'm making any sense or not, but am I not? It's just one of those deals. I love the challenge. I love being able to play this game for a living. It's one of the greatest joys of my life, but does it fill the deepest, wants and desires of my heart? Absolutely not. That's why I talk about families being my priority, because it really is. I'm blessed to be able to come out here and play golf, but if my golf ever started affecting my home life, or it ever affected the relationship I have with my wife or with my son, that's going to be the last day that I play out here for a living. This is not the be all end all. This is not the most important thing in my life.
I didn't really know where to clip that audio, because he's saying, what's the point of winning a tournament? Like, the experience and the excitement is only 2 minutes. He said that he would drop it all for his wife and kid. And Tony, obviously Scottie Scheffler is the number one player in that sport, and I think that there is something about him not really soaking that in, because when you think about whether it's LeBron James or soon to be Victor Wembanyama potentially, when you think about Connor McDavid, when you think about, say, Patrick Mahomes, it seems that Scottie Scheffler is so indifferent on being number one. Could it be to the point where he's going to be completely bored of competing all the time? Scottie Scheffler will walk away from golf in 5 years. Tony, straight facts, bro, relax.
I say, bro, relax, because you can see he loves the game of golf, and it doesn't stop him from putting the work in. I appreciate his honesty. I love the fact that he has that kind of perspective. I will say this. It's easy for a guy in his position to say he'd walk away from golf tomorrow if it affected his family life, because he's pretty set. He's well off. If he was the number 150th golf player in the world and needing to hit certain milestones just to make the next tournament, he probably wouldn't be thinking that way either. But either way, I appreciate the perspective. I appreciate the fact that his family is his priority. That's all great and stuff, but he loves playing the game of golf. It doesn't, I not one moment that I get from that he doesn't love golf. Just the way he talks about how hard he works at it, and he's a nutcase like that, which I'm paraphrasing. It's what he said. He's a freak at working on his craft. So I say, bro, relax. And I think it was a very refreshing. And I just think he's not a guy who cares about legacy. LeBron James is infatuated with his legacy. He wants to orchestrate his own legacy. He wants to tell you, this is why I'm the GOAT, and just manufacture his legacy on his own and think that we're all going to say, okay, whatever. Tom Brady was like that too. I don't think he gives a shit about having a legacy. I just think he likes being a good golfer. He likes winning, and he likes having his family set for the rest of their lives, I guess, which, maybe that's what helps him be such a great player, where he's not, totally nut job over it. So I say, bro, relax.
Yeah, and you could see it in Scheffler that, and from what I understand in the interviews of him, he's all about his wife, his kid, and apparently he's a very devout in his religion, that he's all about God. And I think that's one thing I also appreciate as well, is that if he is so devout that he doesn't show it. I mean, one thing that really, really gets me and it annoys the hell out of me is people always expressing how much of a devout person they are, and they always keep on talking about it. I never got a lick of that from Scottie Scheffler at all. But I mean, I just don't understand the whole dynamic of loving his craft and not enjoying winning that championship, especially the majors. When it comes to the green jacket, he won 2 majors, Masters. I can't remember how many majors he's won altogether. But yeah, he just seems that he does want to get out of there as fast as he can. You are 100% right. The transparency that he does have, because I think one thing that golf really lacks is that personality. And I do appreciate that from Scheffler. I do. You know, Maddie, we were talking about the 4th of July and the traditions that come with the 4th of July. Of course, that being the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. But, I was, truth be told, Maddie, I was listening to TSN Radio here in Toronto. Eric Hosmer, World Series champion, and I believe he was an All-Star Game MVP, was on the TSN Radio. And he spitballed the idea of Major League Baseball making another change. And as the All-Star festivities just recently came and went, Hosmer suggested that baseball is thinking about having the All-Star Game festivities coincide with the 4th of July. And he suggested specifically that the Home Run Derby could fall on the 4th of July. I don't know if you've ever heard about this, but I think it's a fantastic idea. I think that, because it's in the middle of July and there's absolutely nothing going on with baseball, maybe that's a deterrent to move it. But baseball and the USA, I think, are synonymous. Hey, America's pastime. Maddie, Major League Baseball, and especially with all the changes that have been incorporated with baseball, you think about the pitch clock, you think about what they've done to the intentional walk and everything else. Why not change that dynamic of the All-Star Game? Maddie, Major League Baseball will move the All-Star Game to early July, potentially having the home run contest on July 4th. Straight facts, bro, relax.
Straight facts. Here's why. Because I think the term lighting up fireworks is what we say for the Home Run Derby. 4th of July, you can make it a jam-packed occasion because you'll have the Home Run Derby, you'll have the hot dog eating contest, you'll have no baseball, so you can enjoy that time with your families and not have to worry about baseball. Now, usually when the 4th of July comes around, it's towards the end of the first half. People are getting ready for the All-Star break, and their foot's kind of taking off the gas. So I kind of understand. I like that mindset over there. And what better way to enjoy 4th of July than light fireworks and see dingers? I mean, seriously, it just makes perfect sense. Plus, the players can enjoy those 3-4 days with their families to unwind, eat some hot dogs, drink some beer, whatever the case may be, to help them unwind. And then by the time July, 9th comes around, back at it.
Yeah, when Hosmer said that, I don't know, Maddie, very quickly, do you think Major League Baseball has thought about it? Have you heard about it yourself, that potentially having the Home Run Derby on 4th of July and the All-Star Game the day after?
Now, it's funny. This is the first time I'm hearing about this, but I've also heard, sports like the NFL are trying to make the Super Bowl fall on the week of President's Day so we can get that day off the day after the Super Bowl. Ultimately, if you want to use your holidays wisely, use them wisely. And I think this would be a good way to do it.
I think it's a fantastic idea. I just hope Major League Baseball doesn't screw it up. Because in terms of Canada Day, Maddie, all those years ago, Canada Day being on July 1st, and I'm pretty sure Tony will remember that when the Montreal Expos were in existence, they were playing the Toronto Blue Jays, but they were playing in Puerto Rico. So,
really?
It was the last last breath of the Montreal Expos. They had 30 or so games in Puerto Rico.
Google that roster.
Oh man.
That 94 team before the strike.
That 94 team.
Google that roster.
You had a stacked team when Pedro Martinez is on that team and he's not your ace.
No.
Some say that 94 strike ruined the Expos because they couldn't complete a World Series championship run after that.
Yeah.
No, it didn't help. It didn't help for sure. I do wonder, how long Montreal would have lasted if they actually did win that World Series, because the team, the stadium was a disaster, and they weren't, so far out of the downtown core, and who knows?
Right.
But gentlemen, what could have been? Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Always great to chat, talk sports with you, and maybe hopefully we could do it again soon.
Thanks, man. No problem. Anytime.
God bless.
Great.
Take care. Good luck, Matt.
For Tony, Antoniou, and Matt Siriani, I'm Randy Courret. This is Voice of the Fans Canada. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe. We will talk to you next time.